Hello, everybody. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Instagram. I think that our sound is okay. I think that our volume is okay. If anybody in the where did you go? If anybody in the chat
Hi, everyone on YouTube. We are figuring this out. Give us just a second.
or in the audience would like to tell us anything about our sound, our volume, please let us know.
Hi.
Let us know that you can. Hello, here we are again.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can.
Perfect.
Okay. Yay! So excited to be here with you today. Thank you. Thank
Me
you
too.
for.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and thank you to everybody that is here. I see Erin. I see my trusty left-hand lady, Erin, in the comments, and thank you, Erin, for being here. So today, Buchanan and I am I allowed to use your first name?
Yeah, that's what I go by. Buchanan.
Okay.
Tell me whatever you want.
Okay, awesome. Buchanan and I are talking all about psychic development. For those of you who were around or have been around, who have worked with me for a while, or who have been paying attention to what's going on over the last month or so, it was the 9-year anniversary of myself as a service provider. It was my 9-year anniversary of my business. I am Miss Melinda. You can find me at missmelindasmetaphysicalservices.com as well as missmelinda.com. And March 25th was my 9-year anniversary, and I did a giveaway for psychic development sessions. And the lovely Love Witch NYC Buchanan was the winner of the contest. And we have been working really closely with psychic development sessions, and we wanted to come on today to talk a little bit about that. So, Buchanan, would you like to talk a little bit about yourself and what you do and all of those lovely things?
Sure. Well, first, happy anniversary. And I'm so excited to have picked for this opportunity. It's been so incredible, even more incredible than I was imagining it to be. And my hopes were high. So you have not disappointed at all. I am a tarot reader and spellcaster, and I do all the kinds of other readings too. I live in New York City, but I work with clients all over the world. For the last several years, I've been working really closely with Madame Pamita and Parlor of Wonders. So you can book readings with me through parlorofwonders.com or through thelovewitchnyc.com. And yeah, I just make all kinds of magic and help other people make their lives more magical.
Yes, wonderful. You definitely do. I couldn't have chosen a better winner for this opportunity because it has been so lovely to work with you. And when I decided to do the giveaway, I wasn't intending on offering it to somebody who was also a professional practitioner. But that topic kept coming up in the chats that I was having with my assistant, Erin, who has been so supportive throughout this whole process and this whole giveaway as well. And she kept mentioning how beneficial it has been for other professional practitioners to enjoy these sessions and to utilize my services to assist them in developing and deepening their psychic abilities in terms of the work that they do for others, in addition to how that deepening of intuition and psychic abilities benefits them as individuals. So this topic kept coming up of working with other professionals, and then when you entered, I was looking for an aligned person, right? And so that meant a few different things for me, but it might be something that I can't describe here, but it was basically I would know that person when I saw that person. And you were that person, and I knew then that it was a completely aligned for me to work with somebody else who is a professional practitioner who already is using their psychic abilities and their intuition in readings for clients. And it's been really valuable and beneficial for me to work with you in that capacity, because I know that you're going to be able to use your gifts to also assist and help other people And
already
that's really
happening.
important. Yeah, yeah, of course. And it's been happening, but it's really nice that we can continue to grow and expand and develop in this way, and that I know that the work we're doing together is going to influence and benefit and reach out to others as well through the work that you're already doing, to help and guide so many people. So um, it's been wonderful in that way.
Yeah, like right away, we've had 3 sessions together so far, and from the first one, I immediately just started receiving more information and having more insight for my clients. So it was an immediate shift for me, and the further we've gone, the more I'm noticing the effects of that. And you're teaching me things that I'm putting right into action. So I think sometimes, especially for me as somebody who's kind of like an ADHD person, I'm all over the place all the time. So for me to like learn something, if I'm not like immediately putting it into action, I can either get bored with it or forget about it or get rusty with it, right? But I've just jumped right in and been using these tools right away, and they feel so great. And my clients have been telling me like things are resonating more and messages are making more sense. And I've been getting clearer messages and clearer feelings and senses. So it's just been an amazing experience. And I knew it would be. As soon as well, for starters, I saw that you posted the contest within like seconds of you posting it. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I'm going to win this. I must win this. I need to win this. Because I've been wanting to work with you for years. And, I've been following you for years. And it's just always been in my mind, like one day I'm going to develop my psychic skills even further with Miss Melinda. And then I saw that and I was like, okay, it's going to be this day. So
Yes,
it was your psychic development was working before we even started.
that
Miracles
is
occurring.
amazing. And that is amazing, and that is what we call aligned, right? So much synchronicity and so many signs and coincidences went into bringing us together in that way. So, for those of you who maybe aren't familiar with my psychic development coaching, what we're doing in those sessions is I'm working with you really closely one on one, and we are defining and identifying how your intuition works for you as an individual. And then from there, we are able to either deepen that intuition or use the gateway of your intuition to deepen into your deeper psychic connection, because what intuition is a gateway to a deeper psychic connection. And the way that your intuition works for you as an individual, the way that you experience it, that tells me a lot about what psychic ability is going to be the strongest for you and the most easiest and the easiest one for us to develop and deepen. So it's a highly personalized process. They're highly personalized sessions. We work together very closely. I'm available to you in between the sessions to answer questions, to guide you further. You can have activities or exercises to do in your free time that I can provide you with in between the sessions that can accelerate your growth or not. Sometimes that doesn't work for people. Not everybody wants to do homework, and that's totally cool. What I liked that you brought up, Buchanan, is that I'm offering you tools and techniques that you're able to utilize right away. And it's really important to me that the tools and techniques that I provide are really accessible and that you can implement them into your everyday life and into your everyday activities, that the things that you're already doing. So, this doesn't necessarily have to be something that you're setting aside like 30 minutes of time every day to do. I used to practice that way. I used to believe strongly that you needed to be setting aside like an hour to meditate every day. And a lot of the ways that I have. A lot of the ways that I interact with my own spiritual development and my own psychic abilities and my own spiritual practice have really changed over the years. And what I've noticed is that you don't need to. You don't need to set aside an hour every day. It's really beneficial to have exercises that you can implement when you are sitting on the subway or when you are taking a bath or just when you're sitting in your car before you go into a meeting or before you go into the grocery store. So I work really hard to provide tools and techniques and exercises that once you learn the basics, once you learn how they feel for you and how to kind of access that part of yourself, you're able to implement those in a small amount of time and have a really strong impact. So I really like that you brought up that you're able to use the tools and techniques immediately.
Yeah, and that wasn't something I was necessarily expecting. I thought like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna now be able to like develop my psychic abilities over the next, many months." But I think, that's still true. I'm gonna keep going deeper and
Yeah.
deeper, but right away the gates opened. And I think also something you've helped me to do is understand which gates were already open, right? Like I get a lot of sensations and feelings and messages that I don't always understand how to decode, and you've helped me to understand that a little bit more, and to pinpoint what those things are. So that's been super beneficial as well. And I think no matter whether you're a professional who's been practicing for decades or for a couple of months, or if you are totally new to all of this, you are already getting some of these things and just don't even know it yet. So
Yeah.
being able to pinpoint those and then really nurture them and work with them on an ongoing basis is an incredible gift.
Oh, yeah, that's so good to hear. And I do love that you brought up the fact that it will continue to expand over time as well. So even though we're working on stuff that you can practice immediately and that offers you some amount of immediate results, it's still something that is going to continue to expand and develop over time. And so that's a really interesting thing for us to keep an eye on as well, how this continues to grow for you. When we are doing the sessions, we're actually going into a kind of guided visualization, but in that visualization, we're doing real energy work. I'm doing energy work during that time. So the work that we do there, it does have some immediate benefits, but it is also, it's kind of like when we do spell work, right? It's going to expand, it's going to kind of
Mhm.
go out into the universe and do its job, and work within you, work within the energies within you, as well as with the energy surrounding your life. And it's going to continue to grow and expand over time. And especially, that will be layered and that will be strengthened if you continue to do some of the exercises that we do together or develop your own exercises. Ideally, I am teaching people foundational tools and techniques that they can combine with their own spiritual beliefs and their own personal practices, whatever those beliefs and whatever those practices are. I'm coming from a universalist perspective. So I'm not here to tell you what you should believe or what you should practice. And I teach you the foundational techniques and tools that you can integrate with any of your practices and any of your belief systems, and that you can continue to use over time. And because of that approach, you will ideally be developing your own techniques as well, right? So this can be a foundation for you. This can be a starter point. This can be something that continues to stay with you and continues to grow and blossom over time.
I am really excited and I'm already like feeling progress each day, right? Like I feel a little bit different after our sessions. Like that I can tell like I've done hundreds, if not thousands of hours of guided meditation. And what we're doing, that's like an aspect of what we're doing, but it is so much more. And I can feel such a big difference at the end of the session. Like my energy is different for the rest of the day. And it's like you've helped me to turn up the volume on things, and even like I haven't even mentioned this to you, but I have like ringing in my ears a lot of the time, which is probably something I should talk to a doctor about. But instead, like recently, even that ringing that, isn't like all the time, but when that occasionally starts, I've been able to use it to kind of like tune in, and to go inward and to calm down, which before it was something that was like stressing me out. So really be prepared to like have your horizons opened, and to really like be experiencing things in new ways after this work, because it's really transformative.
It's really interesting that you mention ringing in your ears because, and let me just preface this by saying I'm not a medical doctor and I'm not giving out medical advice. However, ringing in your ears is often a symptom that people who are clairaudient experience. So it's really interesting that you've picked up on that and that you've been able to delve into that as a way of getting clearer messages, and that your relationship with that experience and that sensation has changed. And yeah, I didn't hear about that before, and I'm really fascinated and happy to hear about that now. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and thank you for being here in general, Buchanan, and thank you for sharing your experience with everybody, and for being willing to talk about this openly together. I really value your time, and I really value your experience, and I'm really grateful that we have a chance to work together, and that we have a chance to talk about these things together and to share them with other people.
Yeah, me too. It's been so much fun, and like I was saying, so transformative. And I can't wait to keep going and to keep developing my skills. And I'm really excited for other people to hear about this and to give it a spin, because it's really great. And our you that record the sessions and send them to me, so I've been re-listening to them, and treating them kind of like a guided meditation, and it's really great because I've really felt each time like I kind of get into like a trance like state, which is best case scenario for meditation, right? But
Yeah.
not necessarily the best way to absorb information that you can remember all the time. So being able to go back and re-listen to it is really helping me to take it all in and really catch the things I missed the first time because I was so zenned out. So that's a really wonderful component of it too. And like I downloaded those recordings, so I have those forever, and I'm going to be able to keep working with them, and I know I will for a long, long time.
Awesome. That is so cool. So, I wanted to let everybody know that the psychic development coaching sessions are 20% off right now. And you can access that 20% off with the exclusive code. And the code is budding, BUDDING. And if Erin could type that in the chat and maybe provide a link to the psychic development sessions. It's all caps, the code, the exclusive code I'm offering you for 20% off of psychic development sessions, and they're only going to be 20% off for a limited amount of time. So if this is something that you've been interested in, maybe you're somebody who joined the giveaway and I couldn't pick everybody I wanted to. I really would love to work with everybody who entered the giveaway. If any of you are here, thank you so much for entering the giveaway. I really enjoyed all of your comments and all of your interactions. So many lovely, wonderful people entered, and I could only pick one contestant. And if you perhaps, you would like to have these sessions, this is why I'm offering the 20% off. For those of you who were really interested in working with me, this is a way, this is an access point. This is an opportunity for us to work together closer. And anybody who really has been wanting to do, like Buchanan was saying, if you've been wanting to do this, if you've had the nudge to do this for quite some time and you just haven't known when to kind of jump on the bandwagon, now is the bandwagon. Now is the
Yeah,
time. Jump,
perfect
jump
time.
right on. Jump right on. 20% off. So I was wondering, Buchanan, do you have any questions about how this work will continue for you, or about the approach that we're taking to your work as an individual, or anything like that that perhaps would be advantageous to share with our audience? And by the way, if anybody here has any questions, please let us know. We're here
Yeah,
to answer questions and to chat with you as well. So that means if you have questions about psychic development, if you have questions about intuition, if you have questions about my work or Buchanan's work, whatever questions you have, please feel free to enter them in the chat and we will answer them to the best of our ability. But back to topic. Did you have any questions about our work together, and continuing our work together?
Yeah, well, I do wonder, I've been wanting to ask like how you started doing this and kind of how this has grown into what it is because I'm somebody who like throws a lot of stuff in the air to see what sticks. And I can tell as we've been doing this, I'm like, oh, this is something that has really been like fine-tuned and worked out. So I can tell you've put a lot of work into it and that you've been doing this for a long time. So I'd love to just hear about what the process of creating this was like.
Yeah, I can't answer that question without going into a personal story. So let me try to summarize that personal story so I don't go off into storytelling time. But basically, I grew up in a very rural area, in a very conservative rural area. And I have had psychic abilities since birth, and I didn't always know that I had them. I didn't always know what they were. And it became clearer and clearer to me as I got older and as I became a teenager that the things that I was experiencing were not the same things that other people were experiencing. And it became apparent also to the people around me that I was having experiences that um, they didn't have. And we didn't have Wi-Fi. I lived in the woods, isolated, only child, um, conservative people all around me. Religiously conservative is what I mean. And so I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have any point of access to reach out to somebody and to figure out what my experiences were, and also to figure out how to use my abilities for my own benefit, and also to figure out how to access my abilities when I wanted to and how to turn them off when I wanted to. So there were quite a few things that I needed to figure out, and I did. And I did through, in the beginning, through the help of a really, really wonderful high school librarian who I will never, ever forget. And I started doing research. I started doing research and I started not only researching, but also practicing. So that put me onto a lifelong path of researching and practicing all things metaphysical and magical and mystical and spiritual. And I have been implementing practices for developing, deepening, and not just developing and deepening, but also learning to control and learning to have boundaries with my own psychic abilities since I have been about 15 years old. And the the culmination of that is what has allowed me to develop my practices to help other people. And I did it alone, and you don't have to. You don't have to
Yeah.
do it alone. Right? Like, and I read the stacks and stacks of books already. So you don't
Mhm.
have to read the stacks and stacks of books. I have extrapolated the most beneficial information. I have tested out the techniques. I have tested out the practices. I know what works and what doesn't work. I've studied many different spiritualities and religions. This has been a lifelong path for me. I also got a degree in comparative religion. Um, and I have been able to hone in on the essence of the foundation, the foundational tools and techniques, not only from different spiritual practices throughout time and throughout culture, but also through different techniques of mysticism and magic and spirituality. So that's a little bit about how what led me to this, where I am today. I will just add one other thing, and that is that I very firmly believe that we are at a time in human evolution where our next step needs to be developing our spiritual connection and developing our psychic abilities. I believe it very strongly, I believe it very deeply. I believe it in my bones. And I want to help us do that. Um, and I want to help us do that on whatever, in whatever tiny way that I have the ability to do. And that is just by working with one person at a time. That's what I can do, and that's what I'm here to do. Um, and yeah, it's really important to me. It's really meaningful to me and really important to me.
Well, I know you just called it tiny, the amount that you can do, but pulling people onto the leading edge is never a small feat. So you are doing amazing things. And something you said during your story reminded me of something I wanted to share, which was you were talking about, you've really worked to learn how to turn this on, turn this off, and use it to your advantage. And I'm really learning how intuition and psychic gifts can be used not just to predict the future or to find something out for a client or something like that, but it can be used to figure out the right step for like the right next step for your life, to find your life's path. And just over the last few weeks, I feel such a clear view of like what decisions are right and what decisions I need to stray away from. And it's like not even an easy process. Like for some of those are hard realizations even. But it all of a sudden is everything's just clear. It's like you've washed a window. So thank
That is
you so
amazing.
much.
Oh my God, you're welcome. That is so amazing. Thank you for sharing. And I'm glad that you brought up that piece of information as well, and that piece of your experience as well, because a lot of people wonder what is important about tuning into their intuition or having stronger intuition. And, the reason that people wonder why it's important is because as a culture and maybe just humans in general in this day and age have been conditioned to believe that our emotions aren't very important. And it might seem that I'm getting off topic, but our intuition is very, very intertwined with our emotions. And because we have been cut off from ourselves in this way, because we've been cut off from our hearts, we have also been cut off from our intuition. And I've noticed that many people wonder what is important about your intuition. Well, it's not just something that is needed when you are like Buchanan and I, and you're a professional psychic or a professional tarot reader, or you're assisting other people in these ways. This is something that is your inner guidance, your inner guideposts that assists you with making the decisions that are right for you in your daily life, that assists you with following your heart, that assists you with building fulfillment in your life, with building a happy and successful life, that assists you with everything that is most important. Like it's connected to your self-love, it's connected to the love that you're able to receive and to give to others. It's deeply connected to your heart. And when you work on this kind of development, you will experience firsthand also a byproduct is an opening of your heart and an opening of your understanding of yourself through your heart. And then that bleeds over to the way that you're able to understand and relate to other people, and the way that you're able to understand and relate to the world in general. So I know that that's a lot of information, but your intuition is important. Your intuition is so important. This is your spiritual connection that lives within yourself, that lives within your body and your soul and your energy. And we are so conditioned that everything that we need and that everything is going to make us happy is something that we need to reach and grab from outside of ourselves. And the truth is, what we need is inside of ourselves. And
Yeah.
so that's a huge part of what we explore in the beginning steps of deepening intuition as well, is that this isn't something that you need to make come to you. This is something that you need to learn to recognize within yourself and to allow to happen. And I assure you, it is already happening. It is already happening. If you've ever said, I had a gut feeling, or I just know, or, something nudged me, like this is intuition happening. Maybe you are somebody who doesn't experience it all the time. Maybe you've only experienced it in extreme situations. That sometimes is the case for people, but it is there. It is happening, and you need to become familiar with it and to allow it to happen and to allow it to flourish. As we know in magic, right, everything that we pay attention to grows and expands. So when we pay attention to our intuition, it grows and expands, and it can grow and expand into pretty potent psychic abilities if that's what we want, you know?
Yeah. And emotion and intuition are so incredibly linked. I can't agree with you more on that. And we live in a world where it's not beneficial to the powers that be for us to be in touch with our emotions and in touch with our intuition. It's much better for the powers that be to be able to just herd us like sheep and for them to tell us what is best for us. So listening to our intuition is something that we have been conditioned to not do. So
Right.
being in touch with your emotions and being in touch with your intuition is not only great for yourself, but it's also an act of revolution. It's punk rock.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So if you want to be
Absolutely.
really cool, listen to your emotions. And if you want to be different from everybody else, that's a great place to start because most people are not in touch with these things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And for me, the age of cynicism is over. Like I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
done.
over it at the very least.
Let's be in tune with our hearts. Let's follow
Yeah.
our emotions. Let's be in tune with what our soul is calling us to. Like let's, live more authentically. Let's not buy this idea that we need to be reaching and searching and pulling and pushing for all of these things outside of ourselves to come in and fill us up and make us happy. No, let's do it ourselves. Let's see what our soul is telling us. Let's see what our heart is telling us. Let's see what our intuition is telling us. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. So, for those of you who haven't heard, psychic development coaching sessions are 20% off with the code budding. Budding, like flowers, budding, blooming, BUDDING, all caps at missmelinda.com. Erin is here in the chat. She is leaving us some links. And we are probably wrapping this up soon, unless anybody has any questions. I haven't seen any specific questions. Have you, Buchanan?
I haven't seen any questions come through, but I've enjoyed this conversation so much, and I'm so excited to keep working with you. We still have another session as part of the giveaway,
Yes.
and I know that there are many more sessions in our future. So oh, sorry, did you want
No,
to say
I was
something?
like, oh, and we're also going to go live again. So I just got excited.
No, so
Yeah.
I'm really excited for what the future holds in working with you because I know that it's not something I want to stop. So I'm gonna make sure that I get to keep growing this with you and alongside you because my spirit guides and my intuition are telling me that like I'm in the right place. So I'm really, really thankful just to have an opportunity to work with you and to soak up your energy because it's great.
Oh, I love that so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for even entering the contest. And thank you for being here. I'm so grateful for our work, and I'm grateful for everybody that has been here today. And thank you, Erin, for all of your help. One more time, psychic development coaching sessions are 20% off for a limited time only with the code budding, BUDDING, at missmelinda.com. Thanks, everybody. So much love to you. So many blessings. Please be well.